In this session, we are going to see the basic concepts of load forecasting and load dispatching. First is load forecasting. First, we have to understand what is load forecasting. Load forecasting is simply defined as a systematic procedure for quantitatively defining the future loads. It is a methodology to be performed as a part of the system planning. How to design a system, all this for how to design a system, this load forecasting is very important. So to have a new generation and transmission distribution facilities, this system planning should be done in advance. So for system planning, load forecasting is necessary. According to the time period, the load forecasting is classified as short term, medium term and long term. So very short term means the forecasting will be done within few minutes to hours. Short term forecasting means we will be considering the forecasting within an hour to few hours. Medium term forecasting is done for a few days to weeks, and long term forecasting means few months to few years. It will take up to 10 years. The load forecasting will be done. Mainly this long term forecasting is useful for installing a new generation plant. Now we are going to see what is the need for load forecasting. The load forecasting is mainly used to meet the future demand. So long term forecasting is required for maintaining the schedule and planning of the future expansion. Generally, for planning of new addition of generators, transmission and distribution facilities, the planning must be begin some 4 to 10 years in advance of the actual in-service date. The medium long term forecasting is done to predict the monsoon actions, that is during winter what will be the load capacity, during summer what will be the load capacity. So for this seasonal peak, medium term load forecasting is used. Day to day operation, short term load forecasting is used to commit the unit commitment and then spinning reserves. For these things, short term load forecasting will be used. Next is the very short term forecasting. It is mainly used for the real time control and the security operation. Also, generation scheduling and dispatching is done here. Load forecasting means the load on the system should be estimated in advance. This estimation will be affected based on the following factors like geographical factor, weather condition. If we keep the weather condition, if tomorrow's temperature is 32 degrees predicted, but in midnight if the rain comes and the temperature is reduced to 25 degrees Celsius, as the temperature is reduced, many will not be switching on the fan. So automatically the usage of the power will be reduced. So there will be mismatch with the forecasted load. As power reduced, the predicted load will be some 10 megawatt, but the actual usage of the load will be 9 megawatt. So 9 megawatt. So there will be some mismatch in the load which is being used. Next will be the population growth. If population growth will be affecting for a large distance. If they are planning to implement new power plant, and they will start working on it some 10 years before itself, and after 10 years if the growth of the population increases, some factors will be affecting, right? So some load density, and some if it is a public event like holidays and some industrial plants, new industries will be coming, all these things will be affecting the load forecasting. Next step of the load forecasting is the unit commitment. So what is unit commitment? It is the process of committing the generating units to be on and off. Committing means, so we are going to analyze which unit should be on, which unit should be off, right? Unit commitment comes under the short term load forecasting, and the main objective of this unit commitment problem is to minimize the operating cost or the production cost with the economic operation of the power system. In this we have to consider the spinning reserve, the uptime and downtime constraint, fuel constraint, all these things should be kept into account. Next we are going to see the different forecasting techniques. They are extrapolation technique, correlation, and third one will be the combined of both. First is the extrapolation technique. It is based on the analysis is done using the time series method. It uses the historical data for estimating the future outcome. So here the curve fitting of the previous data available, it will be done in the extrapolation. Curve fitting process is done in the extrapolation. Next is the correlation. Here it is done by the econometric forecasting method. Here we will identify the which factor is influencing for the deviation in the forecasting. The last is the combination of extrapolation and correlation. According to the time period, the load forecasting is classified as short term, medium term, and long term. So, very short term means the forecasting will be done within few minutes to hours. Short term forecasting means we will be considering the forecasting within an hour to few hours. Medium term forecasting is done for a few days to weeks, and long term forecasting means few months to few years. It will take up to 10 years. The load forecasting will be done. Mainly this long term forecasting is useful for installing a new generation plant. So if once the unit is committed, with the committed unit the power must be generated and supplied to the load. While doing this unit commitment, the following constraints will take place: load demand constraint, unit capacity constraint, spinning constraint. So load demand means the load variation, load may be increased, load may be decreased, so that will we are going to take it as a constraint. Unit capacity constraint. So if the maximum capacity of one unit is it is a 2 megawatt plant and the required thing is greater than 2 megawatt, then the constraint will be unit capacity constraint. So all these things will be explained in detail in the upcoming chapters. First unit, just a brief introduction. So we are not going in deep into this unit. Thank you.